How do you know what freebie to create that your ideal customers will find irresistible? Well, the answer, my friend, is get to know your customer better than anyone else knows them. Know what they read, what they watch, what they think when they stare at a menu, and what they think when they're trying on swimsuits. Know what they've tried, what doctors have said to them, what their friends are doing, and what they think about personal trainers and health coaches. Know what they tell their spouse about what they want and what they don't share with their spouse. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Fitness Marketing Mastery, where I share marketing and sales strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun, and in this streak or this sprint, if you will, of daily podcasts in April of 2021, I'm really targeting the things you need to do right now. I'm not talking about things I've learned that you should do over 37 years that I've been in the fitness industry or the 25 that I've been actually consulting with personal trainers who also wanted to get started and build their business. But I'm sharing what's relevant for you right now and what really matters. And I think that's an important take home. So if you're falling back, you're listening to great content that was true on podcasts or reading blogs that was published before the pandemic, right now, it really may not be your best and first most important steps to take. So keep that in mind. And let's dive into this episode after I tell you that this one is brought to you by the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. I have two options for you. One is a do it yourself, don't bother me, I'll go through it on my own time. And the second offers you a little bit more additional support, private Facebook group to ask your case study questions, and that could be about you. And how do I read labs? How do I interpret that and make changes to an exercise prescription based on it? Or somebody doesn't have labs. How do I interpret the signs and symptoms they're having to adjust? And what do I want to recommend? Questions like that will be answered as you go through the course, whether you're working with somebody in early perimenopause or who's in postmenopause and closer to 70s, because your hormones dictate your health till death do us part. So if you work with women who are in midlife and older, the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist course is one that you may want to take advantage of. And that advanced course also gives you all of the templates that I use to collect content and information from my private clients as well as our program participants. All you have to do is put in your logo and your contact information, and you're good to go. It's like a business in a box. So, if you're ready to get started, I'll put the link in the show notes. But right now, let's get started with this attracting customers, your ideal ones, to you right now. So, I want you to think about what your customers want and the transformation that they want. Think about why they want it and why that's important. But I want to make very clear that with the freebie, so you all know what I mean, that thing that you and I have added our email address willingly to an opt in form so that we can get the free thing. Maybe it's a downloaded webinar recording, maybe it's a PDF, maybe it's another kind of a video, a checklist, but it is something that we thought valuable enough to crowd our inbox. That's what you're looking for. What is that thing that you should create that'll be so irresistible they want to give you a little space in their inbox? It's important that you realize this is about what they want. And what they want right now is like a quick win. So I'm not talking about what they want ultimately in 3 years or 3 months even, but literally it's like, what do they want like tonight, today? That's what you're creating that freebie for. Give a quick win. So I want you to avoid this mistake. What won't help you know that freebie to create is don't think about what they need. You and I know that people tend to think that what they want is what they need. Not true in most cases. Because although they probably do need some, say, corrective exercise, or they do need better shoes, or know how to pick them, or a tracking device for their health measures, if what they want at the moment is weight loss and they want that belly bloat to go away, you don't want to stray too far from that key pain. So, at this dating stage of the game that you are in with a prospect, you have to give them exactly what they want. The purpose of your freebie is to connect so that you can continue sharing more about what it is that they need as they're ready to listen to you a little bit more. So push pause. You've got to be careful. Most of the time, if you start trying to create something, just like anything, got to get it done, or make something that you know they need, it won't work. You know what freebie to create easiest if you interview at least 24 of your ideal customers. And you may be thinking, where was the easy in that? But here's the deal. You and I are too close to the problem. It's been too long since you've been clueless, and you want them to tell you in their words what they're struggling with most, what they've tried, and what worked and what didn't. So just start interviewing. Stop guessing. Even if you think you're like your ideal customer, you're just not. You're not anymore. My best freebies are two of these things that first come to mind. What I realize is that with my health coach and training clients that are burnt out from social media marketing time and that are not getting enough traction. So I created a style guide for them because they couldn't see how to delegate the task of creating social media posts, writing in their voice. So it really sounds like them without doing it themselves. So a style guide solves that problem. You can much more easily delegate all or some of it. Then I also created a 5-minute blog post step by step guide. I was constantly telling, I still am, my audience, you, to create content. But often you're so short on time that this is another thing that wasn't getting done. And with content being the number one thing that brings people to your website, getting these things done is a must if you ever want to gain traction. More traffic to your website means more people checking out, buying your services and products. But it takes someone, or actually take it from me, who knows that blogs can take hours. I'm not kidding you. They can take hours to do the research, find the links you want to use as resources, to create your draft, to correct it, collect images, or insert a video that you also might create. And you don't need that kind of cornerstone content all the time. You're going to need a few of those pieces, absolutely. But somebody else can easily help you do a lot of the basics. When you know what topics you're writing on, they can begin to collect that research, give you updates. This is a brand new study. It's about the topic we always write about. They can help you. They can even help create bullet points or headlines and give you the skeleton so that you can just go in and flesh it out. Or vice versa. You can flesh out, here's the bullets, here's the headlines, here's the main points I want to say. Could you flesh this out for me? That's one way to do it. So we've got to figure out a way to do it quickly, regularly. Hence my 5-minute blog freebie. And I'll put the link to both of those, the style guide for health and fitness professionals and the 5-minute blog formula. I constantly rank in the top 10 for the keywords that I aim for. And when we learn that I rank, say, 11th to 20th for about 30 more words, which actually just happened today, we go to work making small tweaks in prior blogs and podcasts so that I'm in the top 10 on those. It's just taking a small bit. Once you have that core content on your website, that means that I get found first when somebody's searching at night. They're asking Google, and Google is telling me, well, here's the top answers, and I'm in those top 10, the ones that we all click on. And that can work for you too. So, interview, don't guess. I want you to establish 5 or 6 questions, and I actually am hinting at them right here, but they're in the show notes today. So, I gave you 6 questions to ask for your interview. I'm not going to go into that because this podcast is really about how do you know what freebie to create and how to do it. But if you don't have that foundational work done of doing at least 2 dozen interviews, and then for the rest of your career, you want to keep interviewing people because needs change, don't you think? What people would have responded in 2019 is very different than what they'd be responding right now in this moment. So keep interviewing your customers. Once you collected all of the responses in a spreadsheet, look for the common denominators. The responses to question 1 and 2 and 3. Did everyone say their biggest challenge was weight loss or belly fat or muscle tone or something else? And now you know what freebie to create. Almost. That's when you start crafting your freebie. What would give somebody a quick win, and what is also, of course, related to the core product or service that you offer. So, all of this has to be in direct alignment with how you help people. Before you actually create it, though, think about the content. Create a rough draft of just the content that should be there and then narrow it down because inevitably you cannot include everything you think that should be there. Will overwhelm them. Make it the absolute best content in the shortest possible time for your ideal customer to consume. Because if you overwhelm, which is so likely to happen because of the education you have, you'll confuse them. And a confused mind does nothing. So make it a simple 3 tips, 3 exercises, 3 products you love, 4 recipes, or a breakdown of a good warm up or of a perfect warm up. Now, I used 3 over and over right there. I have no affinity to 3. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 4, but 3 is a nice number. Now, it's time to decide what's the best way to deliver that content. So, could it be that it's just like a 1-page cheat sheet or checklist? Or is a PDF a little bit thicker, a few more pages, more like a book, small ebook? Or is it a video, a webinar, recording? So now it's time to create. And believe me, you won't think this right away, but something they consume in 5 to 10 minutes is far more likely to work. Can't emphasize that enough. They'll need to be able to consume it quickly, so they should be able to start implementing it right away. They shouldn't have to sit down and read it for an hour. So that means you still have their attention if they can read it quickly and go implement it right away. Couple freebie ideas just to get your wheels turning. Say a grocery list and a video so that they can actually make a recipe with you. Like the video is you making it in your kitchen. You've just given them the things they need to get at the store or collect from their kitchen, have them ready when they click play so they can make it with you. So maybe you're showing them how to make, dinner anything but boring, even if they want to eat healthy. Maybe you're showing them an easy way to make sauces without having dairy, and dairy is a problem food for them. So, another freebie idea, PDF with images and instructions for stretches to decrease posture issues that happen from sitting at a desk all day, right? Perfect. Another one is, say, sleep tips and resources guide for a better night's sleep and walk them through. Where do I start? Which one should I do first? How long do I do it? When do I throw it away and say it doesn't work and move on to the next one? So give them the ABCs. Do I have your wheels turning? So now it's up to you. What's a freebie your audience wants and would help them get a quick win so that they start to build trust in you and loyalty in you? Is it tied to services that you provide so that you can offer a logical next step, which would be, of course, to work with you? Can they consume it in a few minutes or consume it regularly over and over again, like Maybe you're giving them a checklist or a checklist that if they were reading labels at the grocery store, they're looking for avoid these things. That might be something they'd put on their phone. They're always going to remember you. So that would be an example of that. So you're good to go. If you could say, yes, that's true, then I can't wait to hear what you create. You can head over to Canva. That's one of my favorite graphics editors. You can create handouts and cheat sheets in there. You can use images of your own or use their stock photos, and they're pretty good. Or graphics. Or head over to fiverr.com if you just no way want to start trying to create this yourself. Compile your content, tell them what you want, and then go over to Fiverr and hire a gig. It's what it's called, GIG. And if you reach out to me, I will be happy to share with you my favorite gig for creating ebooks, PDFs, and the cover art for those. So you have to connect with me. I'm not going to publish this because I don't need hundreds of people getting my guy all busy. I need them available when I need them. So, but I will share with you the one I go to again and again and again. So those resources, those links will be in the show notes. So will my two most popular freebies. Those of you that are working with midlife women or want to, I'll put the link to the fitness or flipping 50 fitness specialist in the show notes as well. What are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever.